Okay, this is video number 7, Kouri Richins trial. Of course, I'm coming early in the morning. I'm still in a hotel. I have wet hair. I'm drinking bad coffee. But this trial is becoming pretty freaking interesting. Can we talk about the fucking boyfriend? I mean, anyway, before I get there though, I need to talk about this defense because I mentioned this in a previous video that I felt like, why do they keep going down the THC gummy route? Like it's all about gummy this, gummy that, gummy this, gummy that. But there was no THC found in his system. And THC is one of those things that it stays there for a while. So if he'd had any of it in the last like 48 hours, it would have been there. So to try to make the jury think that there was something to do with his marijuana usage that caused this is like a major squirrel, and it doesn't add up to me. This defense attorney reminds me a little bit of Donna Adelson's defense attorney, right? There are times where we all know this. When you're in court, do not ever ask a question you don't know the answer to. And this gal she just keeps asking questions, and then she's like, oh, like, I'm laughing because I'm like, what did you think the fucking answer was, lady? But it's almost like she traps herself, and I can't quite figure it out. When she was talking to the financial person, she says, was there anything in there? Was there anything in all those pages of financial documents where Kouri mentioned that she was going to kill her husband and she was going to give her husband a dose of fentanyl and kill him? And she's pushing. She's like, was there anything? Was there? Because she's so fucking condescending. And that forensic and the forensic accountant goes, well, now that you mention it, there was this one email where she said, and I'm like, oh, dog. Like, she just keeps walking herself into these holes. It's just like the THC thing. Well, could it have been THC gummies? Did you find the THC gummies? Did you find the gummies? Did you find the gummies? Did you look in the closet? Did you look in his coat? Did you look in the cupboard? There were gummies all over the house. And they're like, but there was no THC in his system. She just keeps walking herself into these ridiculous traps. So the defense attorney, I mean, a day doesn't go by where she doesn't ask for a mistrial. So of course she asked for a mistrial again, and it tied back to the housekeeper, Carmen Lauber, that there's been some sort of violation of her, I don't know if it's a probation or plea deal or something. There was something that she agreed to that she has now fucked up. And so the defense attorney's like, wait a minute, she's not a reliable witness and all of her testimony should be thrown out. Yeah, you fucking wish. So no, the judge said, no, we're not doing a mistrial. We're not throwing out that evidence. She also made a couple of complaints to the judge. It's like every day. It's like she's just trying, it's like a sideshow. She's like Sideshow Bob, and she's just trying to distract. Well, yesterday she says she wants the prosecutor to be gently admonished because she believes they're making faces at the jury. Like, eye rolls and oh my God. I think if there's anybody that is making faces in this trial, it is Kouri Richins. Like, she is the one that is absolutely coming unglued and making all kinds of faces. But anyway, she said that she wanted the prosecution to stop making faces at the jury. The judge is like, I don't think they are. I can see it from my angle the best. I think I can promise you, I can see their faces better than any camera, and they're not making faces at the jury. But then there's also this thing where the prosecutor will be questioning one of their witnesses. And when they're done, they'll go, okay, believe the defense has some questions for you now. It's like a closing, like so they can go sit down and they can hand off to the cross-examination. Well, she didn't like that because the defense really, honestly, this is true. They don't have to ask any questions. So she felt it was prejudicial of him to say, I believe the defense has some questions for you now. And the defense was having to say, we don't have any questions for you now. I think she worried that either made them look incompetent or it looked like they weren't doing what they were supposed to do, like they were expected to ask questions. So she asked the judge to tell him to stop saying that. And the judge is like, the judge was very nice about it, but the judge is like, that's the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard. We're not doing that. He's like, there's no legal basis for me to stop him from saying that. And if you don't have questions, you just stand up and say, we have no questions. It's that fucking simple. Okay, I know, I got to get to the boyfriend, but really quickly, let me tell you about a couple of things. So there was a couple of attorneys that took the stand. So there was a divorce attorney, and there was also the real estate planning attorney. Now, by the way, both of them mentioned that Eric had to kind of be referred to them by a third party, and that Eric was very secretive about his conversations with them. Like somebody else had to set up the phone calls or somebody else had to set up the meeting because he was afraid that Kouri was reading his emails and Kouri would know what was going on. So it's very clear his wife had access to everything, like his entire online presence. She knew the passwords, she knew the emails, she could get in and regulate his activity, and he knew it. One of the attorneys describes it's called a buy-sell. It was a life insurance policy between Eric and his co-owning partner, Kouri. So the two of them, they basically, what they had was they had life insurance. Essentially, they had life insurance policies like on each other. So what would happen, let's say Cody died, then $2 million would go to Eric, and it'd be tax-free $2 million. And what Eric was supposed to do with that money is he was supposed to basically buy out or pay off Cody's share of the business, so the family wouldn't be in debt, right? So that was their promise to each other, is that they would basically buy each other out if something happened to the other one. And because of that, they were the two beneficiaries. One goes, it's this one goes, it's this one. And suddenly, Kouri shows up as the beneficiary for Eric's half. Now then they show that it was changed to Kouri, and then it was changed back to Eric, and then it was changed back to Kouri, and then it was changed back to Eric. So you could see, like, they showed you the activity, that there were like probably either one person doing it and changing their mind, thinking, oh no, I'm gonna get caught, or there was two people. One person would change, the other person would be like, oh no, you don't. Yes, I am. Oh no, you don't. But it's absolutely bonkers that you think that you can just put yourself on a person's business, or you can put yourself into a policy that you're not supposed to have any part of. Okay, now let's talk about Josh Grossman. Now this guy, I'm trying to figure out, he was very, very upset on the stand. And I don't know, people are saying he's complicit. I don't know, I don't see it that way. I don't think he's complicit. I think what he's showing is true raw emotion, because I think he is devastated that the person that he loved, the person that he believed loved him, the person that he fell head over heels, and that's his own words, that he fell head over heels for, had this dark side. Like, hearing all of this stuff about her that she probably kept hidden from him is probably a little bit devastating. But I also think he might feel, I think I would, feel a little culpable. Like, I was having an affair with this person. It was such a strong love and such a strong attraction. We talked so many times about being together. If only he wasn't in the picture. So you gotta, at some point, start to feel like, did she do this for me? Like, did she do this because we were in love with each other and I made her believe that there was this whole other world that she could be experiencing if she were with me? Did I help encourage this? So there's got to be some part of him that maybe feels a little bit shitty about this, and I would too. I would be like, oh no, I didn't have anything to do with it. I didn't know, but I'm sick to my stomach that I could have been the reason that this happened. Now there's this part that I didn't know of, that the two of them, Kouri and Josh, actually met in South Carolina. I'm not sure how. I don't know if she was there on vacation or work or whatever, but she was there. And they met, and then he moved to Utah to work for her, right? To like help her flip homes and stuff. But he said he was already in love with her back in South Carolina, and that was what prompted his move to Utah. So he comes to Utah. Now, mind you, he's her employee. He's helping her flip houses. He's a handyman who's doing work on all the houses. But he said that, she paid him sometimes, but not always. His payment was basically he was allowed to live in the homes while they were empty, while they were flipping them. So he always had like a roof over his head. But she also bought him a truck. So it sounds like he was kind of like kind of like a nomad, right? Like she just kind of hired him and he just kind of clung on waiting for her to make her move and divorce her husband. He does testify to this one conversation that they'd had where she'd asked him, have you ever killed anyone? Now, that's what he brought to the police too. He said, well, she asked me if I ever killed somebody. Now, I'm going to be very honest. Although I want to believe there was more to that conversation, and I think maybe the purpose of bringing this up, the prosecution is bringing this up because I think maybe they're trying to connect we have one more thing in common. We've both killed somebody, right? I don't know. I think there's a long way around that, but we do know he admitted under oath that they did have a conversation about him at one point killing other people. And how did it make you feel? Okay, I gotta go get ready for work, but keep coming back. I'll do another video tomorrow morning.